Let's get in the shop and build something. So this week started out with a little bit of a cold snap. So I told my dad, I said, we better get Greenbroke out of the trailer and get it put in the shop because they're calling for a nasty storm this weekend. So we took advantage of some frozen ground and got the trailer out, hooked it up, and pulled it around and got the Greenbroke shoved in the shop before the bad weather came. And after I got that done, I started working on. I'd been waiting on a shipment from Summit Racing, so I could get those parts installed, and it finally arrived. So I took the valve cover off because one of the parts I was waiting on was a vacuum pressure relief valve. Uh, or I got one from Moroso and got it installed here. Um, Pretty easy install. Pull the valve cover off, and you need a 3/4 inch diameter hole for that. So I drilled a 1/4 inch hole, and then I used a step bit that I had, good sharp step bit, to go down through that cast aluminum on my trick flow valve covers. You might wonder why I'm running trick flow valve covers when I'm running AFR heads. And the answer is pretty simple, really. The AFR valve covers that I would love to have already come with holes in them. And you know how they are, they come pre stamped. So if you put the one on the left side, the hole's up at the front. You put the one on the right side, and the hole's at the back. And that didn't work for me. So I didn't buy those. And now that I'm putting the vacuum pressure relief valve in it, those may have worked. I'm not sure what the diameter hole is, but anyway, it is what it is. I bought these when I was building the motor the first time, so about 5 years ago. So I'm continuing to use them. And so we got that installed, and I went ahead and I put the valve cover back on, and not sure if you can tell here, but there's always problems. Nothing ever goes smooth. And in this case, with these valve covers, they're a taller uh, boss for the nuts. So I use all thread on that. And the on the right side, one up at the front, since they're new heads, the threads are great and everything. Too good, in fact. And the piece of all thread that I have is not quite long enough, so it wanted to thread down further, and it ended up kind of buggering the threads a little bit. So I discovered that after I got all the nuts on and started snugging them down, and then it was one of those oh crud moments. So I had to take it all back off and to get that piece of all thread out, and then I used my thread restore kit and fixed up that piece of all thread. Once I did that, I took some Loctite, blue Loctite, and went ahead and put my nut on, and then I ran that down into head and snugged it all down, and it worked great. So that pretty much got the motor all ready to install. And then I had to wrap that up for the evening, and there we go. All right, hey guys, good to have you back in the shop with me, and I really appreciated your help getting that motor installed. I couldn't have done it by myself. So hey, thanks. Really appreciate you watching. As you can see, we've been working on Greenberg, and motor's in. She's finally back home. We got a supposedly big snowstorm, but turns out it's only going to be 1 to 3 inches, but -7 degrees tonight here in north central Indiana. So we're gonna hunker down. I don't know if I'm gonna get out here tomorrow. I got some driveways to plow, and we'll try and get some video on that. But so that'll keep us busy probably most of the morning tomorrow, and then we'll see what goes on from there. I'd really like to get transmission in tomorrow or Saturday before Christmas. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of Christmas, I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a happy New Year celebration, but be safe. Nobody wants to see you be the victim of a drunk driver. And if you're out partying, don't drink and drive. Please like and subscribe, because we got more coming. Ring the bell, and we'll video along here as we get Greenberg ready to go. And then I don't know what we're going to do from there, if we're going to try and go south and find a race or something where we can do some testing before spring. I don't know, we'll see. But we got a long way to go to get this ready. We're still waiting on the ignition to come back from MSD, and so we can't go too far yet with that, but we got a lot of other changes coming. So be sure and stay tuned, and thanks again. Merry Christmas, y'all.